So today's daily coding challenge is how to learn Python in 10 days, but actually I've reduced it down to how to learn Python in 10 minutes. And these are a bunch of concepts I've got off the web, so I'm going to now start the 10-minute countdown timer, and I'm using my Visual Studio Code. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a little code block, and programming languages and its applications. That's part of day one. It's going to take 3 hours. Well, we've got about 30 seconds. So what is a programming language? There's multiple programming. There's many different programming languages. There's about 30 or 40 different types at least. And then there's about 10 or 15 popular ones. It lets you do something in a structured and ordered way, and its application are things like calculations and calculators. So that's basically day one covered. Programming languages and applications, which is basically calculators, and they are much better than humans. So are more efficient than humans at automated tasks. Ignore the spelling mistakes, automated tasks. There we go. So on to the next section, which is basic concepts and operators. So let's just do another tab here. What we have, we've got different basic, we can do something like print 10, print 10 plus 10.25, and we can run it. That's a basic operation. We can do a couple more operations. We can do print of 1 plus 1, that's going to get 1 plus 1, that's going to give us 2. And we can also do print, we can do a subtraction, 5 minus 4, well that will give us 5 minus 4, well that will give us a number 1. And we can do multiplications, print 5 times by 3. And finally we can do a division, which is print, and again 5, but this time divided by 3, and it will give some sort of rational number. So that is, just generally speaking, our basic concepts of operators and the sorts of things that we can do, all the normal mathematical operators. So day 3 of the code, we've got strings and variables, so let's just jump into that. We've got different data types, so our native types and strings and variables. So we've got something like B, and I'm going to do type hinting here, which is a boolean, and we can say that's going to be a true. It could be a true or a false. So that's one of our types. We've got I, which is an integer. We don't have to declare the types. I'm giving you free type hinting in our 1-minute sessions, and that is of value 10. And just to show that we don't have to type in, this is a float, and 10.25 for example. And finally we can have a string, and that can be a single character. And we can also have a string, so we can have the letter A. We can also have a string, so I'll call it S1 for a new string, and that can be an entire section of strings. So hello, hello. And I can even have my name here, so S2 equals Darren. And we can then do basic operations on the string, so I can say that the result is equal to I plus F, and then we can print the result, and we get I is 190 and F is 10.25, so we get 20.25. But we can also join up strings, so we can do print of S1. I'm going to add an extra space in there, so we can do something like this, and then plus S2, and that will print hello Darren. So that's basically all of our day 3, and then we're going to go on to control structures, which is day 4. I'm running out of time here, so control structures, and that's basically things like for or if statements, so an if and else. So if x is greater than 100, we can sort of like print, and I won't use x, but I'm actually going to use I here because we've got an I there. So let's just do if I is greater than 100, we can print I is big. And I'm just going to remove the else if for now, and we can just do an else and just do an else instead. But this is our control flow. If it's not big, then print I is small, and we can run that piece of code, and I is big because it's greater than that. And we can also do a for loop. So for I in range, that's another piece of control flow, and then range 10, and we can print hello, and then I, so something like this, and run that, and we get hello 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's our control flow. Let's just move on because we've only got a few minutes left now. Day number 5, which is functions and modules. So I won't have much time to go through this, but a function is this. We can define a function, and we can say that the function takes in 2 arguments like a and b, and then we can return a plus b like this, and then we can call our function. So we can do result equals function, and then 10 and 1, and we can print the result of result, and that should give us the result of 10 plus 1, which is 11. So that's a function, and a module is a function that we call that externally exists. So I'm going to do a module now. So this is a function, and let's do a module here next. Code over here, module, which is import. I'm going to import a module, the time module, and we can do print time dot time or time dot now, time dot time like that, and let's just see what comes back. We get the time. I wonder if we can do a time dot now. No, we can't do a time dot now, so I'll just leave it at that. So this is an external module. There's many external modules, and we can utilize all of those. So they're functions and modules. Next thing on our list was exceptions and files. So let's just do some exceptions here. We can try x does not exist, so it can do print x. I wonder if we've got an x doesn't exist. So what we can try to do is we said we can put this into a try block. So try, this is part of the control flow as well, and we can move our x in here, our statement here. So let's just paste it in there because we don't want a failure. So we're now going to try, and we can print an exception. An exception name x is not defined, so we found our error. Lots of different exceptions that can occur. Day number 7, more types. Well, more types, so we can have a class. Well, in fact, I'm going to go even easier than that. Z equals complex. Here's a new type, a type that we haven't seen, and 10, 20, and we can actually print Z. And what do we see here? We've actually got 10 plus 20j, which is a complex number, the real part and the imaginary part of the number. So we've got different types. I'm going to move on to the other sort of type in a minute. The next thing is functional programming. So let's just go down. We've got 59 seconds for functional programming. I can do a template, and here's a function, and then I'm going to call another function, and I'm going to call this function over here, and I'm going to put it into the actual block, and we'll do it. And then from our function, from our main function, we're going to call this other function. So we do function, and then 100, 2, and that will be equal to some sort of result, and r equals function, and then we can print out the print R. So now we've just done functional programming all in one go. We've got 102 over there. We've got 13 seconds. What's left on this? Revise, good. So we've done all our revision. And finally, object-oriented programming, which is classes. So basically, finally, in the last 2 seconds, class over here. And you hit the button. I've just gone over, but here's our object, and we can print. I'm going to change this object to a dog, and self.a and return, and we can do print. We've also got a type. We can see the type of this, and then we'll instantiate our class. So d equals dog over there, and we have to put something in. So let's just say bark. And we can see the type of our class here, so type of D, and down here we see that it's a class main of dog. So there's a new, we've just created a new type, and this is object-oriented programming, which is classes, and classes can take functions inside of them. So therefore we can have some sort of function that goes inside of our class, and that's scoped locally, and that's referenced with a self. And again, we can put something in here like a queue, and then something like print self.queue, for example. And that's everything. That's all of Python in 10 minutes. Is probably just about 11 minutes. So that's it. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe and follow. And even if you didn't like it, hit the like, subscribe and follow too. So that's it. Thanks for watching Python in 10 days, but /10 minutes.